Alibaba Qwen has done it again. They are introducing a new Qwen 3 Next model. So this is 80 billion parameter model with only 3 billion activated per token. And what they are claiming is this is 10x cheaper training, 10x faster inference than Qwen 3 32 billion. So this is a very powerful model, which they say is, the thinking version outperforms Gemini 2.5 flash thinking, and the instruct approaches their 235 billion parameter flagship model performance. So they have introduced some innovations over here, like this hybrid architecture, gated delta net plus gated attention. So you get best of speed and recall. They are saying that this model is ultra sparse mixture of experts, 512 experts, 10 rooted plus 1 shared expert. It can do multi-token prediction, so turbocharged speculative decoding. That's what they are saying over here. It beats Qwen 3 32 billion in performance. It rivals Qwen 3 235 billion in reasoning and long context. So this model seems to perform well on various benchmarks, and they have introduced a new architecture, hybrid architecture over here. So they're claiming a lot of innovations like pre-training efficiency and inference speed, right? They talk about decode stage, how you are getting a 10x speed advantage and things like that. So we can try out this particular model on Qwen Chat, which is what I did, right? You can also try it on NVIDIA. So I went to Qwen Chat, and the very first task which I wanted to try over here was creating a Road Rash like 3JS game. All code should be in a single file that should run on Chrome browser, make the graphics attractive. And if you look at the thinking budget over here, it is close to 81k tokens. So this is a huge amount of thinking tokens. And if you look at the thinking traces over here, it says that the game will have a 3D road with simple texture, a player car that can move left and right, enemy cars that come from front and move towards the player, basic collision detection, all these things it says, and it generates code over here, right? It has generated code, and then when I run the code, it's actually disappointing because I'm not getting the game properly. Okay, so I wanted to see if there is some issue over here in how it has been generated. So I went to Ecalix Anycoder app. Here also I selected the same model, right? The Qwen 3. Let me go over here, and I've selected the same model over here, and the Qwen 3 Next ATB A3B thinking, and I generated the Road Rash game over here. So it looked something like this, no controls or anything, and it could not generate the code. So I thought it could be an issue with the thinking model. So I made use of the instruct model basically, and I created a game which looks something like this. Okay, so this is okay. It gives you moving options and other things. So this is the code which got generated for the Road Rash like 3D game, but I'm not sure of the controls over here, right? It doesn't look like your typical Road Rash or anything, but yeah, this is slightly better than the thinking version. So this is the non-thinking version which I tried over here. Okay, so I made use of the non-thinking version over here, the instruct version, and it gave me a slightly better result for this Road Rash game. So it says various controls and other things over here. So you can see how it is, right? But I'm not sure of what is the control keys for jumping around or something like that. Should ideally move. No, there is a punch feature and other things. But this was the non-thinking version. So I think for the coding, maybe sometimes you are better off with the non-thinking version than the thinking version. Okay. Another coding thing which I wanted to try was create this 3D Rubik's Cube solver simulation, right? So I said create a 3D Rubik's Cube solving, okay, a 3 by 3 Rubik's Cube being solved using 3JS. Just simulate it. All code should be in a single HTML file, should run on Chrome browser. So this was the code which was generated, right? So it is trying to simulate some kind of 3D Rubik's Cube, solving a 3D Rubik's Cube. Okay. So yeah, so after some time, it says the cube is kind of solved. So you can tell me how the quality of this particular Rubik's Cube solver simulation looked like. So this was using the thinking version. Okay. Now you can also access this model on NVIDIA. You can deploy it over there, right? So here I asked a reasoning question like there are three sisters in a room. The eldest is playing the piano. The youngest is playing chess. What is the other lady doing? The expectation is the other lady is playing chess with the youngest one, right? The middle lady is playing chess with the youngest one. And it correctly answers over here without too much dilly-dallying and other stuff. It says the riddle presents a scenario with three sisters in a room. The eldest is playing the piano. Youngest is playing the chess. Question what the middle sister is doing. So chess is a two-player game. It requires two people. Younger sister is playing chess. So what I've seen is that previous reasoning models, some 3-4 months back, used to go around and give some crazy things over here. But most recent reasoning models are giving the answer what you expect without too much dilly-dallying. Okay. So it correctly says that the middle sister must be the opponent for the younger sister. Now, if the younger sister is playing chess on a computer, that's a different thing, right? The middle sister could be doing something else. So this was one reasoning thing which I tried. Then I tried, to see the question which I tried with Qwen 3 Max Preview, where I said who won the men's US Open final in 2025. Look at the form of the winner in recent events and predict how many Grand Slams would he win in the next 8 years. I was surprised by the thinking trace over here. It says, okay, the user is asking who won. Wait a second, the current year is 2023. I don't know from where it is taking the current year is 2023. So 2025 hasn't happened yet. The US Open for 2025 hasn't taken place, so there's no winner yet. So this is some crazy thinking. But then it says, okay, I will look at the current system message, and then it says that the current year is this thing, right? And then it says, okay, I can use web search tool and find out who won the US Open men's final in 2025. And then it says, okay, the first thing I need to do is a web search. Then it pulls out the results from the web search. Okay. And then it tries to, say that, okay, in the predicting for future becomes difficult, and it gives the correct answer over here. It gives the reference also over. Okay, with the Qwen 3 Max Preview, yesterday when I tried it out, it kind of messed up with this particular question. So here with thinking and search, it is giving the right answer. It's not hallucinating or anything. But I'm not sure what is this thing in their reasoning trace which says the current year is 2023. I'm not sure why it gives this. Maybe I should ask what is the current year. I think it should not waste. Okay, so here current year is 2025 as indicated by the system provided date. Okay. Okay, the previous conversation was this, but that's a future event. I don't know how it's a future event, right? So there is something in their thinking traces, somehow it's not considered the current year. It says current year is 2020 in thinking trace, but the final result, making use of tools and other thing, it is giving a correct response. Okay. So then I thought this model was text generation only, but I uploaded an image over here and I said, with thinking, I said, can you point out what is the condition in this X-ray? And here it says that, okay, let's see, I need to figure out what is the condition shown in the chest X-ray, start looking at the image, looking closer, I'm finding some things, and then it is giving out the correct diagnosis. This was an image which I've pulled out from a publication on pneumonia. So it says this is bilateral pulmonary infiltrates and all those things, left lower lobe and other things. It says over here properly because I could verify it with the paper, right, from where I pulled this image from. So it says differential diagnosis are these things. So it has done a good job over here. So probably you can upload video, image, document over here, and you can make use of this model in QuenChat. But I don't know in API whether it accepts images or not. So these models are available. The Qwen 3 Next series models are available via the Alibaba Cloud API. And if you look at the cost of this particular model, the first one is thinking and the second one is non-thinking. So let's look at the cost of these models. So what they are saying is that for 1 million tokens, it is 50 cents for the reasoning version, 50 cents for the non-reasoning as well. But for the reasoning version, for thinking this thing, it is $6 per million output tokens. For the non-thinking, it is $2 per a million tokens. So that is the cost of these next Qwen 3 next models, API cost. Okay, these models are also available for you to deploy on NVIDIA's platform. Okay, these models are available for you to deploy. These are with Apache 2.0 license, which means that if you have sufficient hardware, you can download the weights from Hugging Face and you can deploy these particular models. So further details of the architecture and other things are present over here. So you can check it out over here. They've explained about the architecture and other things of this particular model. I will be putting all the relevant links in the description of the video. Do check it out. So this is an innovative model from Alibaba Qwen. So basically these Chinese labs are coming up with more and more innovations, and they are calling this as the future of efficient LLMs. I hope this video on Qwen 3 Next is useful to you. If you like the video, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. See you in another video.